Very good morning, students. Today we are going to see the 12th science biology, the third part of this chapter, that is chapter 5th, that is principles of inheritance and variation. Okay. In the previous video, we have already completed related to the monohybrid cross, right? We have seen the different types of examples of pea plant and all, right? Today we are going to see the laws of inheritance in detail, and today we are going to continue the two topics of this chapter, that is incomplete dominance and the second is codominance, right? So first, before going to the main topic, the incomplete and codominance, before that we are going to study these two laws in detail, right? The laws of inheritance there are two laws of inheritance. First is the law of dominance, the second is law of segregation, right? So we are going to see this both of them in detail. I have written here a few four points, right? So you can even note it down so that you can easily understand it well. First is law of dominance. The characters are controlled by separate units and those are said to be factors, right? See, in law of dominance, the characters, for each and every character, what is present? Several factors are present, and those factors are said to be the separate units. In your books, discrete units is used. The word discrete is used, and that means separate, right? So the characters are controlled by separate units, and those are said to be factors. Now all the factors always occur in pairs. That means they are not individually present, but they are always present in pairs. In this similar pair, one dominates the other. If there is presence of dissimilar pair, that means if one capital T and small t is present, then what happens? The capital T and small t, both of them are depicting different things, right? So for this reason, if a dissimilar pair is there, then what happens? The one of them dominates the another. It expresses only one of the parental characters in F1 and expresses both in F2. In F1 generation, only and only one parental character is expressed. Means when the dissimilar pair is observed, what happens? Amongst them, one of them will be the one who will be the dominant one amongst the next one, right? So in F1 generation, only one is expressed, but when we are talking about F2 generation, what happens? Both of them are expressing individual. So this is according to the monohybrid cross, which we have seen in the first video, right? So according to the monohybrid cross, we have seen the law of dominance. The second one is law of segregation. The word segregation means separation, right? So here in segregation law, what happens? The alleles do not mix and both the characters are recovered during gamete formation as in F2 generation. What happens here? The two of the genes or the two of the alleles, they does not mix with each other. If they are mixing with each other as in the law of dominance, amongst them one will be the dominant one. So for that reason, what happens? The dominant one dominates on the another. Means one expresses and the second one represses, right? So here it is not there. So as the alleles do not mix, there will be no dominance and no recessiveness, right? Homozygous produce same types of gametes and heterozygous produce two kinds of gametes. We have already seen these two terms in detail in the previous video, that what are homozygous and what is heterozygous when we saw about the test cross, right? So homozygous means the same kind. Definitely if the homozygous, if the alleles are homozygous, what happens? It is going to produce same kind of gametes as the both of the alleles which are present in pair. Both of them are same. But if they are different, and then they are said to be heterozygous, right? So when there is heterozygous, what happens? They produce two kind of gametes. That means two of them are going to get separated, and for this reason the two gametes will be different in nature, right? So these are the two laws of inheritance. The first is law of dominance and the second is law of segregation. Going to the next topic, that is the incomplete dominance, right? Incomplete dominance. That means there will be dominance, but that dominance will be in incomplete manner. So let's see what is the exact definition of incomplete dominance, right? Okay. The incomplete dominance is the phenomenon of neither of two alleles being dominant, so that expression in hybrid is a mixture of expressions of two alleles. Okay. What happens here? It is a phenomenon where two of the alleles, both of them are dominant, right? And so that the expression in hybrid is a mixture of expressions. What happens when the two parental genes, or when the two parental characters having the alleles, right, what happens? They both of them are equally dominant. For this reason, what happens? When the F1 generation is formed, both of them are going to give equal amount of dominance. For this reason, the expression of both the alleles occurs, right? And for this reason, the mixture, as a mixture occurs, what happens? Both of them are going to express, so there will be an intermediate result which is observed, right? Or we can say the expression in hybrid is a mixture of expressions, right? That means the expression will be from both of the parents, right? The example to understand incomplete dominance is an example of snapdragon, right? The scientific name is Mirabilis jalapus, right? The snapdragon is also known as dog flower, and the two varieties of this snapdragon flower is red flower and white flower. So we are going to take the example of this two flower and to understand the incomplete dominance, right? So here I have shown you the flow chart of the incomplete dominance, right? So first we are going to see this. I have mentioned everything with different color chalk sticks so that you can understand easily, right? So here I have mentioned the different levels, that here the parental generation, then the gametes which are formed, the F1 generation, which are the gametes which are formed in the F1 generation, and then what is the F2 generation, right? So first the parent is said that we have taken two types of flowers, red color flower and white color flower. The red color flower is having the genotype capital R, and the white flower is having the genotype small r. Now the gametes which we get from this two of them, that means right now they are homozygous. For this reason, that both of the gametes, whichever gametes are formed, they will be exactly same. For this reason, from here we are getting capital R as a gamete, and from here we are getting small r as a gamete, right? So here the gametes from the parental generation we get is capital R and small r. Now when we are merging this both of them, what happens? The in the F1 generation we are getting two types of gametes, right? The F1 generation which is formed, that is capital R, small r. That is the fusion of these two gametes, that is capital R, small r, right? Now in F1 generation what happens? Both of them equally expresses, right? For this reason there will be a mixture of both of them. So when you mix the red color with the white color, what you get is a pink color. So here in the F1 generation, as we can see that capital R, small r, both of them merges with each other. For this reason the color which is formed, that is pink, right? So when we are separating this gametes, right, into male and female, right? So what happens here? We are using a Punnett square to understand and to get exact ratios, that is the phenotypic ratio as well as the genotypic ratio. So to understand that what will be the results of the F2 generation, right? So here in F1 generation what we got is pink color. Now we are going to do what? Selfing of them, right? So when we are going for the selfing, what happens? One capital R, small r fuses with the another capital R, small r. For this reason we are getting four gametes. The two gametes will be capital R, small r, the other two will be capital R, small r, right? So when we are placing that into the Punnett square, what happens? Here the capital R forms the capital R, here capital R, small r. But as here the both of them expresses equally, for this reason here I have written it with pink color, because in the F1 generation when capital R, small r was fusing, they formed pink colored flower. So I have mentioned both of them with pink color. And the last one, that is small r and small r, that is going to form the white flower. So amongst this Punnett square we can understand that one will be red in color, one will be white in color, and the other two will be heterozygous and that will be pink in color, right? So this is what we are getting, that is a F2 generation. Now based upon this F2 generation, we are going to see two types of ratio, the genotypic ratio and the second is phenotypic ratio, right? First phenotypic ratio is red is to pink is to white, right? So red is to pink is to white. We initially had the parents which were only two, that is red and white. But initially when we did what? Selfing of the two gametes, right, which are equally expressive, what happens? We are getting another flower, another colored flower, that is pink, right? So here the ratio will be red is to pink is to white. And the genotypic ratio will be capital R for red, capital R small r for pink, and small r for white. And the ratio of this will be 1 is to 2 is to 1. That means 1 red flower, 2 pink flowers, and 1 white flower. So in the incomplete dominance, what happens? Both of them are having, both the gametes which are formed by the parents, they both are having equal dominance. For this reason, what happens when the F1 generation is formed, they both of them equally expresses to form the mixture of expression. And when the mixture of expression occurs, neither it gives red color nor it gives white color, but it gives the mixture of both of them, that is pink. And for this reason, we are getting here this type of ratio, that is 1 is to 2 is to 1. So in the last we are getting what? The phenotypic ratio as red is to pink is to white, and that is 1 is to 2 is to 1. Right? So I hope you are clear with the incomplete dominance. The next topic is codominance. It is a phenomenon of two alleles lacking dominance recessive relationship and both expressing themselves in the organism. So codominance means along with one, the another one also expresses, right? That means co means to work with each other, right? So what happens here? The two of the alleles, both of them are lacking what? The dominance recessive relationship. That means both of them are neither knowing about either what is dominance or recessive. That means both of them are neither one of them are dominant over the other one or recessive, right? And both of them are expressing themselves in the organism. That means in particular organism, both of them are equally expressive, right? So that is nothing but codominance, right? Next is here F1 generation resembles both parents. That means the F1 generation will be the same as the parent. Example to understand the codominance, here we have taken the example of humans, the ABO blood grouping system, and that is controlled by the gene I, right? Here we are going to take the example of human ABO blood grouping system, and that ABO blood grouping system is being controlled by a gene which is known as I, right? Now this gene I has 3 alleles, right? Normally we know that it is occurring in pairs. That means 2 there. They are presenting 2. But here this gene has 3 alleles: capital IA, IB, and small I. Right? And here among these 3, the IA and IB, both of them are dominant over the small I. Right? Every person has only 2 alleles out of these 3. Right? That means these 3 of them are present, but out of these 3, every person has either IA and small I, IB and small I, maybe IA, IB, right? So there are several different combinations which we are going to see here. But before going to that chart, first we need to understand that every person contains 2 alleles out of this 3. Plasma membrane of RBC has sugar polymers which are stick on the surface, and the kind of sugar is controlled by the gene. Now amongst these 3 alleles, these 2, that is capital IA and capital IB, these 2 of the genes have the ability to produce its own sugar, but this small I does not have its capacity to produce any type of sugar, right? So here what is this, that IA and IB is dominant over the small I, and these 2 of them are having the ability to produce their own sugars, and the small I is not having any ability to produce sugar, right? So this is about the gene I, and it is having 3 alleles: capital IA, capital IB, and small I. Amongst these 3, any 2 of the alleles are present in the human, right? In any of the person, right? And amongst them, the capital IA and capital IB, both of them are dominant over the small I. Capital IA and capital IB, they both have the tendency to produce its own sugar, but small I does not have its tendency to produce sugar. Next is, see, I have already written here, IA, IB produces sugar while small I does not produce sugar. Now when both IA and IB are present, they both expresses their own types of sugar. Now if a person is having capital IA as well as capital IB, codominance. That means with the help of the next one, or we can say along with the next one, they both expresses themselves in a particular organism. Here I have shown or I have drawn you a chart or a table where I have made 4 columns, right? Here I have written parent alleles from the parent 1, here alleles from the parent 2, here what will be the genotype of the offspring, and here what will be the blood group of the offspring. Now make sure that if you are not understanding this in proper way, you can also refer the textbook, right? I will make it is same as the textbook, but you need to understand this very well to understand the codominance, right? Now if the parent 1, say for example this is father, this is mother, right? The father is having capital IA and the mother is also having capital IA. That means when the 2 gametes of abioblood, that is the gene I, when they merge in the offspring, what will be the thing is both the gametes will be having what? Both of the gene has IA, right? That means IA, so the genotype of the offspring will be capital IA, capital I. That means only one single type of sugar is expressed in the offspring, and for this reason the blood group of this type of offspring will be A, right? Next is if the father is having capital IA, if the mother is having IB, then the genotype will be having both of them, that is A as well as B. So both of them are equally going to express themselves. So I have written with different colors so you can understand easily, right? So IA and IB I have written, so both the sugars are going to express themselves. So if both the sugars are formed, that means the blood group of that particular organism or offsprings will be AB, right? Next is if the father is having IA, right, and if the mother is having small I. Now here the capital IA is dominant over the small I. That means only one single type of sugar is formed, and for this reason here this will be not expressed, but which will be expressed? Capital IA. And for this reason the genotype of the offspring will be capital IA, small I. But as the expression or the dominance of capital IA is observed, the blood group of the offspring will be A, right? Same way here, the father is having IB, mother is having IA. These both of them are going to equally express the sugars. For this reason the blood group will be AB. Here IB, that means only one type of sugar is formed. For this reason the blood group will be B. Here again IB and small I, again same as this. What happens? The capital IB is dominant over the small I, and for this reason what happens? The only one type of sugar is formed, and for this reason the blood group will be B. As here in the last one, here note A and B is present, only small I is present. For this reason both of them are going to merge and they are going to express themselves, and that will be forming what? O type of blood group, right? So there are 4 different types of blood group: A, B, AB and O, and for this way they are going to form the blood groups. And through this we can understand that how, through which we can understand that this second one, right, then this one, right? So this both of them are expressing what? Wherever AB I have written, that AB is nothing but the codominance. So I hope now you are clear with the topic codominance. So we have today seen about the laws of inheritance, that is the law of dominance and law of segregation in detail, right? And then we have seen the incomplete dominance, right? We have drawn the flow chart of it, how the genotypic and phenotypic ratios are formed, right? That is 1:2:1. Next is codominance. This codominance we saw in detail, right? And how the codominance works. Now we saw the different examples as well as of codominance and also of the incomplete dominance. Here we saw the example of ABO blood grouping system of humans. The incomplete dominance example was observed in Snapdragon, right? You should write all those notes in your notebook. Thank you.